Recording in progress.
I call this meeting of the Planning and Development Committee, start over. It's Monday. I call this meeting of the Planning and Development Committee for October 6, 2025 to order, and I'll ask Councilman Alan Mitchell to do the invocation.
Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the liquid sunshine that you have provided to us. Thank you for all your blessings and the nourishment that you provided to us every day. We are here tonight to do the business of the county for planning and development. Guide us through the meeting, open our 2 ears, and guide our 1 mouth so that we do the right things for the entire county. Amen.
Amen. Approval for the, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes from the September 15th meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes?
All in favor? Aye. All right, so we're ready for the first docket.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first docket tonight is CZ-2025-061. The property is located at 7 White Horse Road Extension in Greenville. The applicant is Matthew Christian for Leonardo Fernandez of Lafebe Contracting Corporation. The 2.92 acre subject property consists of 1 parcel and is located at the intersection of Donaldson Road and White Horse Road Extension and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned C2 Commercial District. The request is for S1 Services District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is boat and RV storage. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that a successful rezoning to S1 Services District would not be consistent with South Greenville Area Plan future land use designation of commercial, which calls for uses typically associated with the C2 Commercial District. Staff also feels the S1 zoning district could allow for uses incompatible with the residential areas to the northeast and south of the subject property. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to S1 Services District. Greenville County Planning Commission also recommended denial. Mr. Chairman.
All right, you've heard the recommendations. We're having a discussion.
Move for denial.
We have a motion for denial. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So this motion has failed.
The next docket is CZ-2025-062. The property is located on Gunter Road in Piedmont. The applicants are Edward and Sheila Lawless. The 15.06 acre subject property consists of 1 parcel and is located approximately 0.61 miles southeast of the intersection of Gunter Road and Garrison Road and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RR1, Rural Residential District. The request is for AG Agricultural Preservation District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is leased garden beds. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to AG Agricultural Preservation District would be consistent with the Greenville County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of rural living, as well as the South Greenville area future land use designation of rural preservation. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to AG Agricultural Preservation District. Greenville County Planning Commission also recommended approval. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You heard from the staff and the Planning Commission. Do we have any discussion?
Move for approval.
I'm sorry.
Move for approval.
All right. Dr. Pence asked for a motion for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
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 This passes. Let's move on to the next.
The next docket is CZ-2025-063. The property is located on Chapel Road in Greenville. The applicant is Sheldon Mickens for Azad Temple number 140. The 1.5 acre subject property consists of 1 parcel and is located approximately 0.05 miles east of the intersection of Chapel Road and Donaldson Road and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned I-1 Industrial District. The request is for C2 Commercial District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is a Shriner's Temple. This is the subject site and photo showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the C2 Commercial District would not be consistent with the Plain Greenwood County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of industrial, nor would it be consistent with the South Greenville Area Plan future land use designation of service and industrial. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to C2 Commercial District. Greenville County Planning Commission also recommended denial. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. We have any discussion?
I don't understand that.
Can I ask, Mr. Chairman, what constitutes a C2 need for a Shriners Temple? I'm just curious.
So if all they want to do is have the club with meetings, they can do that under the current I-1 zoning. And that was explained to the applicant before we moved forward with their application. We sent them emails ahead of time just confirming that they still wanted to move forward, and they said, sure, keep them on the docket. So if all they want to have is their club meetings, they can do that there. However, if they want to, say, rent out the building for special event facilities are not a permitted use in the current I-1 zoning, and that would necessitate a rezoning. So we believe that that may be a part of their, what they want to do. We're really not 100% sure.
They just
on
seem
that.
insistent on going forward with C2.
They
They
said,
do rent it out.
they said they would. I mean, they admitted
That's what they've
that.
always done.
They've
They
admitted
rent it
that.
out for events.
They
Yeah.
weren't being shady about that at all. They were straight up about
And
that's
they've
what
always
they
done it
wanted.
ever since I've been alive.
Right.
So what? So the denial is you're saying the Shriner Temple is fine, but if they want to rent it to people, it's not fine? I mean,
Well, I
Can
guess,
you
It
go-
would have to be
can you go
C2
back-
if they're gonna rent it.
can you go back to the larger zoning slide, please?
Mhm.
That one.
not really.
Well, they C2 down in the very
They're C,
corner.
they're C2, I mean, fairly close.
So I should also add, special event facilities are also a permitted use in the S1 district. So that could potentially be another option here.
Was that explained?
I was going to say, were they advised?
So why did they choose against it, you think?
I'm not sure. We may not have had that discussion with them. I'm not sure. Yeah, on the S1.
Matt, can we hold this and not fail it or do anything with it? That way they don't, I mean, would they have to pay another fee or if they want to or they want to change it or what's the most expedient way to get them, to help them out?
So potentially, if P&D wanted to hold, just so that we could confirm with the applicant that they would be okay with S1, you could amend it on the floor here to S1.
So we could amend it here, and they
If
wouldn't
they-
have to come back?
Correct.
You just rule
It
over?
would come back to your next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
As S1.
right. We would have to have something from the applicant stating that they wish to, that they would be okay with the S1. And if that was the case, we would present that to you, and then that could be amended if they so choose.
So if we put it on hold, y'all will reach out to the applicant. Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do you, well, I hate to like put you on the spot, but would this likely change staff recommendation if they were to go to something that was more in line with the current area?
There's just one all around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the property surrounded by S1, and even the area plans call for service and industrial. So, yeah.
And they would still, oh, sorry,
No, no, that's all.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman. And they would still be able to have the meetings they need to have and everything. I mean, so really,
I think the only concern, Mike, that we could think of was if there was any type where they wanted to have some type of bar. But if it's a special event, alcohol is included in a special event. We don't, we don't put it as a bar, nightclub, tavern, or anything. That's its own. You can have that aspect of it. That was the only thing we could think of. But I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I've rented out Shriners Temple before for a special event. I don't know why they was adamant on the C2, but we definitely can have that conversation on this one.
have you talked to them? It's in your district or not?
And I can talk to Mr. Mickens, I mean, I talk to him all the time.
Sure.
I'll reach out to him too. But y'all take the lead on it, so it don't like, I'm just coming up with something.
Happy to do that.
Mr. Betchel?
I just got a question for clarity on the renting of the facility. If they rented it for a wedding, and the wedding was going to serve alcohol at a bar, cash bar, that kind of thing, would they be allowed to do that?
in S1.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes, because
So-
that would be incidental or ancillary to the actual use of being a special event facility.
Okay, so when you say a bar, you're talking about a club that's continuous kind of,
Correct. We're talking about a full-blown, bar. I mean, something where they, it's kind of an unwritten rule where like more than 50% of their revenue comes from the sale of alcohol and things like that.
no, that.
Right.
I'm found
Okay.
the home, and y'all reach out to them and see if they can live with S1.
So,
Okay, motion to hold?
all in favor to put this on hold? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, we'll put this on hold, and y'all reach out to these guys,
Absolutely.
okay?
They
Thank you.
already own the land. I'm just like,
Right.
what you gonna
Yeah,
do?
right.
I got this land, I just bought, you gonna tell me I can't do anything with it?
Makes, this one makes sense.
That makes more sense. Good.
All right. The next docket is CZ-2025-064. Property is located at 340 Bagwell Road in Greenville. The applicants are David J. Flores Diaz and Ruby G. Hernandez Aquino. The 1.1 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.25 miles south of the intersection of Roper Mountain Road and Feaster Road and currently contains a single-family residence under construction. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned RS Residential Suburban District. The request is for R20 Single Family Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is single-family residential. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to the R20 Single Family Residential District would be consistent with similar land uses in the area and would not have an adverse impact on the surrounding properties. Based on these reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning to R20 Single Family Residential District. Greenville County Planning Commission also recommended approval. Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion?
Motion to approve?
It's my understanding before we approve, all they want to do is instead of putting one house, put two houses. Yeah, okay. All right, we have a motion for approval.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah, motion
we did.
approved, yes.
Motion. So we're all in favor of approval? Say aye.
Aye.
All right, this is approved. Let's move on.
The next docket is CZ-2025-065. The property is located at 114 Chalmers Road in Greenville. The applicant is Lynn Soulsby of Blue Water Civil Design LLC for Kenneth Suhandran of DMI Realty, Inc. The 3.01 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.3 miles south of the intersection of South Pleasantburg Drive, Highway 291, and Malden Road, and currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned C2 Commercial District. The request is for FRD Flexible Review District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is automobile storage and club. The applicant is proposing to create a luxury condo garage complex to allow the storage and maintenance of automobiles with a social club component. Uses would include those related to the storage and maintenance of automobiles, as well as other uses as permitted in the C2 Commercial District. There will be up to 26 22 feet by 50 feet garage condos and one 44 feet by 50-foot clubhouse. Buildings will be pre-engineered metal with colors including gray, white, and blue. Square footage will be limited to 29,700 square feet. Signage and lighting will conform to county standards. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that successful rezoning to FRD Flexible Review District as currently presented would not meet the goals of the planned Greenville County Comprehensive Plan, future land use designation of transitional corridor. This land use type identifies older commercial corridors to be designed primarily for commercial, office, and retail uses with improved site design and pedestrian-friendly building placement. Staff also feels that the request does not meet the intent of the Augusta Road Corridor Strategic Plan, which aims to improve streetscape design and provide beautification in areas along Augusta Road and Interstate 85. The proposed FRD does not establish specific landscape requirements as currently presented along roadways nor adjacent to existing land uses. Staff also feels the lack of buffer requirements adjacent to the existing extended stay hotel and lack of limitations on operating hours could have an adverse impact. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to FRD Flexible Review District. Greenville County Planning Commission recommended approval with the following conditions. 1, hours of operation are from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. 2, increase landscaping and buffering around the buildings. And 3, provide road frontage landscaping. I should also note that since Planning Commission's approval with conditions, the engineer for the project has provided updated statements of intent and plans for the FRD, which reflect these conditions placed on it by Planning Commission.
Do we have them?
I can pull the revised plan up for you real quick.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, can I add, I guess I could ask while he's pulling that up. With the conditions that were agreed to during the planning commission portion, does it change the feeling of staff at all on it in a positive way?
Correct. So the changes that the applicant has made based on planning commissions, it does address staff's main concerns with the project. We're definitely more comfortable with it now.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can we enforce the hours of operation? Can we enforce that?
In a review district,
We can?
staff can enforce it. So if they were operating outside of those hours of operation, that's something that, it would be essentially a violation of their statement of intent, which would be kind of their zoning of the property.
I mean, would we slap them on the wrist and give them $100 fine, or?
It would be, it could be $1,100 and up to 30 days in jail,
Potentially revoked.
and potentially revoke certificate of occupancy. Those fines are criminal.
How many times do you give them?
I can write up to 3 tickets for the same violation under that same violation. If that's created, they violate it again, then it starts that clock over.
Right. Okay.
Is this the revised plan?
These are the revised plans. And in the wording of their statement of intent, there's actually, there's some more language as to quantities and spacing of materials, as well as the operating hours.
Can you go back to the old one, or put them side by side? I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm just like, what are we doing?
The main differences in this plan are the landscaping just around the borders.
So there was no landscaping in the first?
Correct. The only landscaping in the previous version was just around the trash facility. There was some shrubs.
So they added this in the front.
So the front and
I'm
along
not an
the
architect, so
sides.
help me, what is that really, I can't even read it, so small. Are those a certain kind of tree or certain kind of bushes they said they're gonna put in there?
How do I?
You can go to the Home Depot and get a $5 bush, it's dead next week.
That's a bunch of $5 bushes, though.
No, I'm serious, how do we enforce this stuff? We make a big deal of it. Then
This is
that's legitimate, or
I think it's through Edge. Okay, here we go. Just press up there.
If you could see it.
Okay. So actually, I'll go up to the actual. So here are the actual landscaping requirements that they've put into their statement of intent. So establishing minimum buffer widths, as well as trees spaced at certain dimensions, specifying evergreen shrubs, and the trees are either going to be shade trees or understory trees spaced along the lengths. Under the zoning ordinance, plant material does have to be warranted for a certain amount of time and replaced.
Okay, good, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Well, we have a motion for approval. All in favor? All right, so all in favor of the motion for
So,
approval?
Mr. Chairman, I would just add, the motion to approve, is that with Planning Commission's conditions?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay.
make it.
Okay, I'll amend the motion. Motion to approve with the conditions imposed by the planning commission.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Passes with the conditions from the planning commission.
The next docket is CZ-2025-060. The property is located at West Blue Ridge Drive, Aladdin Street, and Evergreen Street in Greenville. The applicant is Chip Coker for CEW Greenville LLC. The 3.79 acre subject property consists of one parcel and is located approximately 0.06 miles south of the Old Buncombe Road in West Blue Ridge Drive, Highway 253 intersection. It currently contains vacant land. This is the zoning of the surrounding area. Subject property outlined here is zoned C1 Commercial District and R7.5 Single Family Residential District. The request is for RM10 Multifamily Residential District. You can also see the surrounding property zones. The applicant states that the proposed land use is a townhome development. This is the subject site and photos showing the area surrounding the subject site. Staff is of the opinion that while a successful rezoning to RM10 Multifamily Residential District would be consistent with the Plain Greenwood County Comprehensive Plan future land use designation of traditional neighborhood, it would not be consistent with Sans Souci Community Plan future land use designation of commercial. Sans Souci Community Plan identifies existing commercial properties along larger road corridors, which it says are well suited to offer accessibility to heavier traffic. Residents surveyed during the planning process for the community plan also expressed an interest in having local retail and restaurant opportunities. Based on these reasons, staff recommends denial of the requested rezoning to RM10 Multifamily Residential District. Greenville County Planning Commission also recommended denial. Planning and Development Committee voted to hold this docket at the September 15th public hearing. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilman Blunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we held this the last time, and I discussed with the parties involved. They requested another hold, even though I did inquire as to what the reasons for the hold would be, and they're talking to the community, but just based on the staff and the planning commission so far, it doesn't seem like that moves the needle a whole lot, but I told them just out of respect, I would request another hold, at least one more, so they could work out whatever it is they're trying to work on, and then I think at that point, we should probably move forward at the next meeting, so I make a motion to hold.
Okay, before you do it, could you go back to the, excuse me, to the area plan? Yes. I see one RM20 up in the far right, and then we got some R7.5s. So
Gotcha.
if you work out the details, is this going to be somehow consistent with the plan, with the comprehensive plan? Whatever you work out, will that make it consistent?
Staff is not currently working on anything with the applicant. Like I said,
Oh,
the
okay.
current request for RM10, the request for RM10 would be consistent with the comprehensive plan currently. But just the townhome or for rent residential development would not be consistent with the area plan.
Okay. And you're okay with that being the only RM10 in the area?
Well, staff has recommended denial.
So no.
No.
Just want to get it in the record.
Gotcha.
Yeah, way up the road. Okay.
We have a
Now,
mo-
this is the same group that came to us at the hearing, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they're trying to work out amongst themselves what the issues are.
I'm not really sure exactly what all they're trying to work out, to be honest. I think it could have something to do with reapplication if it were denied versus if they decide to somehow pull it and that kind of thing. So I told them, since it was pretty obvious that on this side, it seemed pretty clear it was going to be a denial, I would give them a chance to work through that. And I
Okay.
think 2 meetings is probably enough. So the next one, I'd probably make a different suggestion, but I figured we could give them one more shot to see what they want to do.
Right. But since our districts are close, they contacted me too. So
Gotcha.
that's why I wanted to be clear on everything.
Gotcha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So we have a motion on the floor to hold, so all in favor to hold this motion, will you say so by saying aye?
Aye.
So we will hold this, hopefully this one more time. All right. So, now we are ready for Mr. Coleman Schaus, if you'll come up and give us some information. We'll need your name and address for the record, sir.
All right, sir. I'm Coleman Schaus. I live at 119 Jones Avenue in Greenville.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to speak to you. My being here is a result of a meeting we had earlier in this building about the new proposed Article 24 for the cluster development and associated open space. And I didn't know very much about that application, but I have done some research, and I want to share with you the results of that research, and then ask you how we can help. Jeff Randolph has come with me because he and I started in this business about the same time. We developed subdivisions. We've probably done more subdivisions than anybody in Greenville using cluster or other forms of lot development that are geared toward product, geared toward the customer, and that's how cluster is beneficial to development patterns in Greenville. I just want to let you know that the proposal that was presented to you all earlier, that proposal was copied from York County, and I tried to do a little comparison of that to Boxwood, which I had done. That was a cluster, and but it wasn't very professional. So I decided to take a subdivision that has been approved recently by the Planning Commission and applied that to a real world situation. It's the same property. It's 36 acres. It's got wetlands. It's got floodplain. It's got a water line. It's got all of the abnormalities of property. And the ordinance suggests, well, it's R12, and the cluster ordinance says you start with the gross density, which is 133 lots. Couldn't do that because of all of the things that are in the way. I could do 100 under cluster, but at the end of the negotiation with the Planning Commission, we wound up with 88. That was the Logan Reserve. I applied the proposed Article 24 standards on that same property, and we've got 33 lots. I'm sure that just demonstrates to me that just simply won't work in the marketplace. I'm going to ask Jeff to come up and address you. I said we started together. He started at Adams Run. I started at Pelham Falls about the same time, and we've come. I started in '87, and Pelham Falls was a PUD, and the vast majority of my subdivisions have been cluster in some form. Now, cluster started pretty simply, and it has progressed over time to what we've been using for the last 10 or 15 years. And it's very effective. to achieve open space and utility of scarce resources. And the land we have remaining is the difficult land. All the easy stuff's been done. So you're going to continue to have these conflicts. And I think that the Article 11 can be repaired very simply. And I'd like to be able to give you that opportunity. And Jeff, I just volunteered you.
May I speak as well?
Yes, sir, your name and address for the record.
All right. This is Jeff Randolph, 607 Pendleton Street, Greenville, South Carolina. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, other councilmen, for allowing me to share. I did want to say, Mr. Shaw said that we're of the same age. Maybe we started at the same time, but I think he's beat me a few on the years. But I certainly look up to him as a mentor. We might have started at the same time, but he's got way more experience than I do, and wisdom. I believe that our two companies have developed more residential communities under the cluster ordinance than anyone else in the county. Those neighborhoods have stood the test of time and are well thought of in the marketplace. And the marketplace is the reason for those developments, because we're developing for our own portfolio, and we are not, and we're selling those to selected builders and residents. We are not making design decisions, I'm talking for the two of us, to accommodate a builder request. And I think that's a distinction. Another distinction is I have never used the cluster option to gain density. I have used the cluster option for flexibility to minimize and limit infrastructure and to create a better streetscape. Density should not be a reason to use cluster, and the present code allows for such. It's got some subtleties. Greenville County needs a cluster ordinance development option to preserve open space and reduce infrastructure. The reduction of infrastructure speaks to affordability regardless of price, whether it's truly affordable or $1 million home. There have been abuses of the cluster ordinance. Those abuses: ineffective open space, density increases through the inclusion of townhomes, to name a few, creates opposition on the part of citizens and voters, which requires a response from the county. So we have something bad happen, and then you get a response. So we went from a very simple ordinance when it first started to a very complicated ordinance now that's hard to implement and apply. We're both planners by education. I have sat on, before I went to the dark side of being a developer, I sat there. All right? I've developed in multiple markets in multiple states. I have seen best practices. I sit on the City of Greenville's Planning Commission. I'm happy, along with Coleman and others that you select, to be of assistance, help craft an effective cluster ordinance in Greenville County, and we're both available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
I will say one thing. Jeff, I'm glad to hear you say you've never done it to increase density, because that's a big turnoff to a lot of people. And that's one of the things I've been saying, whatever the original zoning is, you shouldn't be able to increase that number of houses just because you switch to cluster and allow you to squeeze more in. I don't mind the cluster as long as the number of homes can't increase other than what the normal density would have been with the regular zoning if you didn't use the cluster. So I was glad you said that.
Well, as far as the question, I guess would be, since you're offering expertise, what would be your suggestion to fix that loophole as it currently stands?
I agree with Mr. Schaus that I believe that Article 11 can be fixed. I would simplify it. Obviously, you do have to speak to the zoning ordinance and open space. I mean, there's other, Coleman's way better on 24 and 11, but there's other things in all of the ordinance that also has to be adjusted, but I would get back to a very simple ordinance. I remember when the cluster ordinance or open space, and it was really, you got this much acreage, you're allowed to do this much, the open space has to look like this, this, and this, it wasn't all these other things, and, I mean, you're done. Now it's gotten, I mean, you gotta have a lot of people looking at it to figure out what is, you know, there's words in there that my attorney would say, you can't, what is effective? I mean, you're gonna argue about that till the cows come home, you know? So I think you can take the present ordinance and simplify it. And, I mean, we came up with a proposed draft. It wasn't, you know, it's not the end all, but I think with y'all's input, planning staff's input, planning commission's input, let's put a group together and put something before y'all. You obviously have to, at the end of the day, approve or deny it.
I guess my only follow-up question would be, and this could be for staff or for you, since y'all have been doing it for as long as you have, but when did it seem to change from something that seemingly was more simple to more complex?
I
Just
can't give you
estimated.
a date, but
Like 10
What-
years ago?
what happened was, the big thing that happened was that the cluster ordinance, it was specific. You know, you had to have so much open space. It had to have certain characteristics. Some things were in, some things were out. And that was a staff level decision. It went on the plat and was considered by the staff. And they made tweaks or whatever it took to get things in line with the ordinance before it was sent to the planning commission for public airing and decisions. Now, that step is not there. The staff is sending it on, and the planning commission doesn't see what was presented until the meeting. And then it's very, very, very subjective. And we don't know what, the last three that were considered were all done by different engineers, different topography, different everything. And ours took 2 or 3 times. One of those 3 was mine. Paul Harrison, who's here, had one planning commission last meeting, and it went through without any questions. Well, no, there were questions, but it went through. And then, of course, the big one, the Bell one, that one created all kinds of controversy that could have been avoided had it been identified earlier. And what I'm suggesting is that the planning commission needs to see it, the staff needs to see it and tell the planning commission that it's good to go or not. That's a simple explanation. There's some things we've got to do that. Because you got your open space ordinance lives in the zoning ordinance. Your cluster lives in the open space subregs, and they don't always GHO. Want to straighten that out. But the biggest thing is, tell me what we got to do, or tell any developer what he's got to do for open space, and then check that it's done, and then send it on up. And because if you got 8 people looking at it, you can have 8 decisions on what's reasonable, what's big enough, what's not big enough, is it too narrow, too wide. All over the state, there are cluster ordinances being enforced that determine all of that and that can be measured. And
I think to answer if I was going to answer that question, it seemed like 4 or 5 years ago, I'd take something to the planning commission, and I was like, well, this is not going to be a problem, we got to get, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you walk in and it's like, holy, there can't be this many people that don't like me, so I don't know. And I do think that getting a effective ordinance that has some built-in by right that if I meet these criteria, then you're good. If you don't meet them, you're not good. Now, we got to figure out what is those thresholds, but I think you can come up with those thresholds. And then you're really putting your emphasis on your staff to make sure that those are effective.
And
Mr.
we
Chairman.
could, I think we could, a group of us could come up with a draft very quickly. Because the parts of the ordinance that need tweaking, it's really easy to tweak and remain effective. And I'm happy to do anything I can.
Thank you for coming in today and offering your expertise. I have a question. I've been getting a lot of correspondence from realtors and other developers about I'm destroying affordable housing by changing the cluster development ordinance. So can you help me understand how cluster equals affordable?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, if you have a cluster development, look at Bellwyn. I mean, those are $1 million houses. That's not affordable to me, maybe some of
Well,
you, not
yeah,
me.
I think
but,
that-
but I mean, explain to me why these realtors, where they're getting their information that cluster equals affordable, because they're not building $150,000 houses on these cluster developments. They're building $500,000 houses. So just help me understand that.
I'll take a shot of it. And my company is under contract with Homes of Hope, who is the largest affordable housing
Yes, they are.
developer in the state. Now, we are doing single-family attached in detail. We're not doing multifamily, okay? And just for a definition of affordable, whether it's $1 million or $250,000 house, you want to keep that cost down as low as you can. And the more expensive land is, and the more expensive infrastructure, everything goes out. So the 250 house that's truly affordable, or the 200 house, whatever we want to define as affordable. So Homes of Hope has a neighborhood that I know that Councilman Blunt has seen out on White Horse Road that's an affordable development, and it is a cluster development.
I guess my question is, not
but-
to interrupt you, but if the density doesn't change,
Well, here's how
how does the
density-
cost change?
Okay, so on infrastructure is if you have a house that's on a 60-foot lot and you can somehow design it with, let's say we take 10 feet out of that lot and we make it open space. Now we have a 50-foot lot. Now that road that's in front of it, you've cut cost out. Okay, so every foot of that road is $300 a foot. So by reducing that, or I'll give you another example. I believe some of you have seen, we have a development. There's one in Greer, there's a couple others, where we platted off of an alley and we got rid of the road in front. So I took the road out, I platted off the alley, or I could do a road behind me. I got rid of a road by getting rid of that road and increasing my open space, I reduced that cost, and therefore I'm reducing the cost ultimately of that house. And ultimately, it's less costly for the county because the county's not going to have to maintain
Correct.
that road. It's
so-
also reducing stormwater because, if we can get rid of asphalt, 10% reduction in asphalt is 10% reduction of stormwater.
So it's a reduction in cost of infrastructure costs.
Yes.
But that doesn't make a home affordable in the sense that if you choose to put a $500,000 house on that property,
that's-
correct?
that's
So,
true.
okay, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing something here, because as a
You're correct. Just because it's clustered,
doesn't make it affordable. That's what people I'm getting
It's
a lot of
gonna-
correspondence from the realtors.
It's going to make it more affordable. But again, $1 million.
In what range? Absolutely.
950.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing. I had the experts here. I want to make sure I'm not the crazy guy in the room.
I sat in a meeting, I think the two of y'all were in, and there was a couple of people from the building community, and the
Yeah.
guy stands up, and it's like, I can't stand behind that. And
Yeah.
I get in trouble by some of the stuff I say, like Coleman's
Sure.
going to grab me by the neck here, but you can't say that, okay? Now, let's get really, truly affordable, Homes of Hope, okay? the same neighborhood, I think the process that Coleman went through with Logan's Reserve, I put it through the neighborhood out on White Horse Road, which is 40 lots on, I forgot how many acres. And by utilizing the proposed ordinance, I could only get like 18. Now, so if I go from 40 to 18, and I've got the same infrastructure,
Sure.
it's going up in price.
Absolutely.
And
I understand
An example, Logan, it's 36 acres, and the owner wants X dollars for it. And I can't do the maximum because there's just not room. I can't do that. It's gonna be 20% less, at least. But I can do 88. I could do 100, but no, that was too dense, so I'm doing 88. If I go to the new proposal, I'm down to 30-something. The land's still worth whatever the owner says it's worth.
It's a baseball card.
So guess what? I'm dividing that by 33 instead of 100.
Sure.
So that's why the affordability is such a big factor.
Okay.
And we all have to live by that.
Any other questions?
That's good. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Huh? Thank you, sir.
Thank
Let-
you.
Let me know if we can help.
I was gonna say before I have a question, I'd like to just make a comment that I'm glad that we have citizens who take enough interest in what we're doing in the county to come forth on their own free will and sometimes at their own expense, just to give us a little wisdom over time. Because apparently something happened with a cluster ordinance that was working. And it's like that creep effect.
Mission Creek.
It's working now, but somebody makes a statement and makes a little tweaky change, and somebody makes a statement and they tweak it again and make another change. And before you know it, it doesn't even look anything like what it started out looking. And that's the sense I get that you guys are trying to drive home here. So I'll turn to the staff and say, is there an original cluster ordinance around anywhere where we can look at that and start to compare where we are now, and maybe we can figure out how we got there and turn to people like Coleman and Jeff and say, hey, where in time was this working most efficiently?
We can definitely go to the files and see what we can, look at the old versions of the LDR and old versions of the ordinance to see what we can, I think it'd probably be prior to, Megan, what was it, 3.1? I think it was probably prior to that. Would that be his sense? Was it any?
It was way prior.
Way prior to 3.1, so at least that gives the starting point. We know,
Yeah.
go before that, so.
But I would submit that the ordinance that you have now could be made as effective as it was day one if it's administered differently.
Differently?
Well, differently in that the staff would say, would bless it, that it's prescriptive, would bless it, and if there were things that were blatantly wrong, you deny it.
Right.
If it just needed tweaking, if it was 5, if it was 10 and you needed 9, staff could deal with that.
Okay, all right.
But no, this is, we got a hangnail and we don't need to amputate the finger.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
That's wisdom right there.
there you go. But thank you both for
All right.
coming forward. This is good, I think, so. Mr. Chairman, I'm done with my comments.
Any more comments? If not, I'll entertain the last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.